we ain't backing down. Woo! Packers, Bears. Sometimes a win feels like a loss and vice versa. We're going back-to-back rivalry weeks, folks. We ain't backing down. 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 We ain't down. We ain't backing down. Backing down. We ain't backing down. We ain't down. We ain't backing down. Let's start it.
Two dads and a Chaz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz, talking Green Bay Packers football. We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Mostly gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot. Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides some rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz Football Podcast, the sports pod that's so authentic. It has the bravery to rock a dad. I'm your host, Tyson Fauché, joined by two of the three pod members. That's right. Our sweet Chazzy buddy baby boy is not present. So I have been extricated from my own studio / guest room to this lovely storage corner of my basement for a very special episode. Joined today by Wendell, who's on a streak of attendance that is impressive for him. Hi, how you feeling?
Feeling like I just, woke up. I did have to just wake up from a solid nap. The weatherman said snow. I passed out. It like hypnosis. I'm out. So I'm here. I'm with it. And yeah, let's keep this streak rolling.
And if you're down one Chaz, it sure helps to have another dad. Joined by my dear friend and fellow sleepy father, Aaron Mayhew. How you doing today, bud?
T-Bone. This point of the season, none of us are 100%, but we fight through, goddammit, and I am excited. Let's talk some fucking Pack. Let's go.
I love it. Let's talk some football. Packers, Bears in Chicago, final score 22-19. The goal, guys, to get a W. And Coach says we will never apologize for a win. Well, this is one that I am going to apologize to, so this one is to the Chicago fans. Chicago fans, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look. You guys deserve that win. We did not play as well as you did, considering your background and our background. We were both two teams at a crossroads, had the same mission at hand. We had to start fresh and get it under control after a loss. Rock bottom in some ways. Your bottom's a little lower than our bottom. You guys are a power bottom. We stole one. And I'm willing to admit as a fan, and like I bet most Packers fans, even some in this pod, won't. But I will admit, you outplayed us in this one. You came ready to play. We were sluggish and confused. It was a disappointing performance on a defensive end. Offense, efficient, except for where you needed to be. We've gotten screwed in the past. I know what that feels like. Seahawks come ringing a bell with the fake refs that one year where it felt like we just got robbed of a game. Doesn't feel good. I'm glad we got it. Must-win situation to the Bears fans. You played good enough. You're just the fucking Bears. Stick around. We'll be right back.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Because I'm tired of doing the same thing every week. We're going to do a little bit of change up. This particular matchup is a great opportunity to bring out this concept, which is a thing I call the good, the bad, and the bullshit. Because there was all three of those things. You got it on offense. You got it on defense. You got it all over the game. So we're going to break it down, guys. The challenge is I'm going to send you either the good, the bad, or the bullshit, and you hit me back with a player that you feel represented that kind of play. I'm going to start off this going to my man, Ty Wendell. Ty, who was someone in this game that you felt had a good performance?
I mean, every single week, Josh Jacobs has a good performance. Every single week when nothing is going right, Josh Jacobs is there. The only good thing happening quite often. I'm loving it. It doesn't show up in the, you see 76 yards and a touchdown. That's not going to wow you. But what is going to wow you, like his toughness, the fact that he can be relied on, and the fact that when everything else is breaking down, that's my good. Mayhew, you got a bad?
Yeah, I got some bad for you. Romeo Doubs. disappeared on Sunday. Look at a little stat line here. Romeo, where are you? I can't even find you. 1 catch, 17 yards. There was one in particular on 3rd down, a ball thrown to the outside, a difficult pass from Jordan right in the hands, and they slow-mode that one. He dropped it. I'm sorry. We need to eliminate the drops. I need you to be a goddamn playmaker. Romeo, where are you at? Tyson, give me some bullshit.
Oh, man, there was some super bullshit in that game. I'm going to start off with some bullshit from the refs. A couple of calls in that game. If the defensive player jumps over the line, touches your offensive player, they hold in their stance to hike the ball. That's a free play. There was one time that it happened that our guy moved and it was defensive encroachment. There was a second time it came up where they just stopped the play for no reason. That should have been a free play for us. We have been built on a lot of success in that area. There was some major bullshit just from this reffing crew. Does anyone happen to know the name of that ref?
Head referee was Bill Vinovich.
Bill Vinovich. Mayhew, I know there was some more good, though. Who do you think was good in this game?
You want some good? I got some good from a boy that's been disappearing a little bit, Christian Watson. 4 catches, 4 attempts for 150 yards. Every single one was a tough hands catch, either going against triple coverage or just turning, rolling. Let's put it under review. Goddamn catch. Yeah. He was impressive for the first time in a long time. Dude, this offense needs that going into the future. So Christian, good to have you back.
Just tally onto that. I thought that Christian Watson is the reason we won that game. He was a difference maker. He was the guy at the beginning. They're like, oh man, wait till this guy figures it out. He could be something spectacular. Like, he's ready to bloom. That felt like a big moment. First 100-yard game from him all year. I called that, by the way. Feeling pretty positive about him listening and taking on my request. Christian, appreciate you listening to the show. But I got to go into the bad now. Tucker Kraft on that play that Jordan Love threw the pick on. Tucker Kraft went alligator arms. Based on the play that happened a few weeks back with Musgraves going up and tipping a pass that was intended for a wide receiver behind him, and it ended up resulting in an interception. It felt like he thought that ball was for someone behind him and stopped jumping up for it. And I looked at it a couple different times. It can be interpreted a couple different ways. But still, after that moment, it felt like he kind of didn't have as big of an impact as I would have hoped. He did a good job talking shit and messing with the other guys, trying to get some calls. But I would have liked to have seen a bigger impact from Tucker Kraft.
T-Bone, that play in particular with Tucker, I know what you mean. And for me, I actually did feel that was an overthrow by Jordan. Full hands extended by Tucker, reaching up where he did have that thought, like, man, is there someone else behind me play-wise?
Just safeties for the other team.
Very true. Tucker, for the day, he kind of disappeared. Offensively, we did not have a ton of shots. I felt like throughout the entire day, offense was not on the field doing their thing. I felt like the Bears kind of dictated that game a little bit.
Maybe what's some bullshit?
You want to talk bullshit?
Yeah. I want to talk some bullshit. Talk about coaching. I thought we had some poor strategy, the way that we adjusted or did not adjust to what the slight variation of their old playbook. I want to take a look at some of these numbers, but ultimately it seemed like our defense was, with an exception of the final drive, a couple of great plays by Cox, it seemed like we were not getting much push all day. They were able to sit back there or escape around the side, not holding up the edge. Caleb Williams looking the best he's looked all year. And that was frustrating to see. I also look like Coach LaFleur is pretty frustrated by it too. I haven't seen him chew out a coaching sideline like that really yet this year. So it seemed like everyone was not doing what they were supposed to do in some ways. We're still good, right? Good, bad, bullshit. We still got a couple more goods. Who was good, Mayu?
For me, I did feel right away from the get-go that Jordan Love actually looked, I'm not going to say 100%, but man, he was hopping around in the manner that he normally does. I thought he was very smart with the football. I felt like his accuracy, aside from that Tucker Kraft throw that we just discussed, was very on point. And even more, he was ready to tuck the ball under and run for yards like when it was appropriate, you know? So kind of cleaning up some of those things we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, eliminating those mistakes. So I thought Jordan played a pretty good game, Tyson.
Man, give me the stat line, because it's impressive. I mean, yeah, we threw the pick and we had some unsuccessful fourth down attempts, but dude didn't throw hardly any incompletions in that game. Our wide receiving core caught I feel like every ball, and maybe I'm crazy, but it felt that way to me.
It's a valid point. A few drops here and there, but 13 of 17 for 261 yards.
That's fucking good, man.
It's efficient. It's
Yeah.
efficient. And again, I feel like we just didn't offensively, we didn't have the ball a ton. And when we did, we were trying to run. Jordan was a bright spot. He was one of the goods.
Definitely one of the goods. I got to go into the bad, and it's not someone I've ever said before, and I honestly, up to this point, didn't think was possible. But McKinney had a bad game. McKinney had some bad moments, getting beat on different situations, also losing his shit on Valentine, throwing his helmet. That is going to be going into the bullshit category of seeing our team melt down on the sidelines. I feel like we learned a lot about our defense and what's not right after 1 week of a bye week to come back and be getting in arguments on the sidelines. Not right. People throwing helmets at their own players, breaking iPads on the sidelines. Not right. Mayhew.
Yeah, I just got a different take here. Look, this was the first play that actually felt like he took a bad angle, made a bad decision, and it was on the DeAndre Swift run to the end zone. The first time I'd ever seen it where I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Guy gets pissed. He goes to the sideline. As far as I'm concerned, if he's yelling at anybody on that defense, and if he's smashing, I don't even give a shit. Tyson, that guy is like the one heart and soul and leader that we have on this defense. So yeah, good. Smash it. Yell at everybody. Turn it around.
And I'd be frustrated too having to watch Quay Walker come over. It's like the worst employee on your team coming and being like, guys, we got to pick it up. It's like, dude, fucking you. Shut up. Don't tell me to do my job better. You're clearly the one failing us right now. So, like, thanks for the pep talk, champ. How about you fucking pick it up? You know, that's what I saw McKinney be like, oh my God, like the hardest eye roll I've ever seen in my life as he walked away from Quay Walker, sitting there screaming at everybody. If Chaz was here, he was going to hit on Quay Walker's body language. Oh, Mayhew, I know you love body language and talking about it, observing it, understanding it. So his body language is of a pouty little bitch that can't handle stuff. We've seen it when he got kicked out of the game. We've seen it, and now you see like a tiny little sprinkling of it after every single goddamn play. When you watch him, he does nothing but be like, oh.
It's part of a larger conversation for me. With Quay, I think it's just where he was drafted. Like, we have a first-round draft pick. We've invested. This guy continues to play 100% of the snaps, and he is just not a difference maker. We're in year, is it 3, 4?
Yeah.
Where are we at here? We're tied.
Year 3.
You and I were like very high on him. It's like, man, when does it finally connect mentally where you're making plays? And he's just not. I'm kind of ready to move off not only him, but a few other defensive players, but that's a little bit further down in the episode.
A classic LaFleur sticking with a clear problem while everyone and their brother talks about it ad nauseum, and we'll fix that as soon as the offseason hit. They're not willing to consider Quay Walker not the starting middle linebacker of this team, and I feel like that's a huge mistake. He doesn't have a huge contract. It is really just the ego of the GM saying, hey, man, let my guy's going to get it together. But at this point,
I don't know. Let me hold on. Let me cut in on this because we're already, dog and Quay. Middle linebacker is an extremely difficult position. Maybe the second hardest position in football behind tight end. I don't see a guy on this team that I'm as comfortable with as Quay Walker. Edgerrin Cooper is an untested, unknown. I like the energy. I like what I'm seeing on special teams. But I'm not ready to trust Edgerrin Cooper with 118 tackles a season. And I see other guys who play nicely for 18 snaps. It's easy to be like, okay, who's this Brenton Cox? Quay has been stable. He has been reliable. And while he is often way in the wrong fucking position, like he is
loves to tackle high, just the way they tell you to.
We have on this team right now. There is not a guy I'm more comfortable with manning that middle linebacker position than Quay.
Only thing that I feel like we need Quay for right now is that we aren't comfortable giving a young guy the green dot, and I don't think you should. You give it to McKinney. He's the one who's running this team. He's the one who's running this defense. You give him the green dot. He's managing it from the back to the front. Is an understanding of the language between the coaching staff and what we're supposed to be reading on the field. I just feel like we'd be better off. Mayhew, what were you going to say? I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, I'm running out of excuses for Quay. Ty, the inside linebacker position is complex, and they've tasked him with being like the play caller. I just see him running into blocks and not getting off of them. I see him not taking good angles, despite him being what I'm told is like the most athletic player on our team. It's like, man, have you forced a fumble? Have you, like, how many passes have you defense? I mean, I think it was his last game. He actually had like his best play of the year, like that pass breakup. But I'm pretty sure his eyes were closed and he like might have just like stumbled into it like by chance. If I'm being totally honest,
He was trying to catch that butterfly and accidentally hit a football.
So flip the script here. Edgerrin Cooper, a rookie. Do you want to hand him the keys to the car? I don't know. Every time the guy's in the game, he makes mistakes, but he also makes plays. Eric Wilson, when given even a small amount of snaps and in his outage, made fucking plays. Man, regardless of where you were drafted, I want the best people making plays and enhancing this defense. And Quay, for me, man, he's sliding off in a big way. Tyson, you got thoughts?
He is our best option at middle linebacker. I just want him to stop with the pouty bullshit. It's just really hard to see what's supposed to be the guard dog, the mean face of our middle of our defense, the Ray Lewis, out there getting up from every tackle, pouting.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. I think you can definitely see he's been swayed. He has an attitude. No, he has an attitude. He definitely has. He's not like the leader maybe that you want him to be on defense. I don't know if that was ever my expectation to Quay. I wanted him to be a cannonball. I don't need him to be, the driving force of this. I think he ended up with the green dot. I don't know. That's inside the organization's decision. I'm sure they have a good reason for it, but no, Quay would look amazing. Quay would look a lot better if he also got 7 snaps a game. We like all these guys, these Mosby and Inigbari. We like all these guys. This Brenton Cox. We like them because they're doing it by committee with the 7 to 9 snaps they get. Quay's out there the other 64 snaps. Yeah, 1.5 sacks on the season is a disappointing stat line, but it's too much for any of these young guys to carry.
Let me just send this to this professional numbers guy here. Maybe can we do a little bit of analysis in this game? I'm curious, how did their offense do versus our offense? We threw 1 pick. They had no turnovers.
But look, Ty, I want Quay to be good as much as you do. I really do. I've been championing this guy for fucking ever. And he is, aside from Xavier McKinney, the only other defensive player that has played 100% of the snaps. Okay? But I can give you want some numbers here? Listen, this last game, he did contribute to 8 tackles. You know who else did? Javon Bullard. Edgerrin Cooper, just a shade under with 7. Over the entire year, forced fumbles, 0. Interceptions, also 0. Sacks, 1.5. The guy is just not making the impact that we need at that star position, is all I'm trying to say. Now, if you want to talk, Tyson, a few more stats here, let's talk about Caleb Williams, all right? And let's break this offense just a little bit, because I do think we need to touch on it. They fired their offensive coordinator week before they played us, and we didn't quite know how they were going to attack us, what they were going to do. Now, I don't know the guy's name, the new guy, but he played to Caleb's strengths in the manner, like, what were they doing all season long? You knew you were going to draft this guy number 1 overall. Man, he loves to run, kind of quick offense, get the ball out of his hand, like that kind of thing. And then you bring DeAndre Swift, all these receivers, you surrounded him, horrible offensive line, sure, which only means you need to get the ball out of his hand quickly. And this is the first time that I think anybody has seen it. And unfortunately, we kind of fell victim to it. But Tyson, on the defensive side, like, could we have done something differently? Because it felt like, despite the fact that we saw that through the first half, I didn't see a lot of changes going the second. And when it really mattered, they just did whatever they wanted to right up until the final field goal.
This would have been a great Preston Smith game. He is really good at standing in one place, backing up 6 steps, and catching the ball or tipping the ball when you throw these short zone read situations. He totally screws that up. And it's I can't believe I'm saying it, but I miss that fat, wonderful man who would just take 2 steps forward or 4 steps back and it was just right. Without him there, it seemed like Lucas Van Ness was not really getting to the quarterback. He was getting great pressure, but it was just not what we needed. And I wish we had Preston Smith back for this only game, and then we would have traded him because it would have been helpful. I think it would have changed the whole momentum. You would have had 2-3 picks.
Stands in one place, backs up 6 steps, and just intercepts the ball.
I mean, there is a chance Caleb Williams would have run into him 3 times. I mean, for sacks.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good take.
That's how he holds the edge. These guys are overthinking it. Stop moving. Just stand there. Take 2 steps. That's enough. They'll show up. You wait. If you build it, they will come. This is the style of defense he ran. And I missed it that day because we gave up the edge over and over and over, like a team that didn't know how to handle a quarterback that could run when we dominated those kinds of quarterbacks all year long. We've been one of the best at holding the edge and containing running quarterbacks in the entire NFL up to this point. So I don't know if we just didn't expect that. I think we respected them too much. I think we looked at that team. They were doing something that we weren't expecting. And we're like, oh, interesting, fascinating. Let's see where this goes. And then we didn't do anything but sit back, play real vanilla defense, did not try to do any short zone when you see they're only running like 2 or 3 different concepts. I'm really disappointed in Hafley to not get this figured out sooner. And I feel like we did get it figured out midway through the third quarter. Fourth quarter, our defense seemed like they had some good jumps on scheme. They scouted us better than we scouted them. We were reacting to everything. They seemed like they knew what play we were going to run before we ran it, and they were already guarding it better than most teams would. And that brings me to my question about Jordan Love and our team. Is there a tell somewhere, guys? We're going to get to that after we take a short break.
We're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Hey guys, this is Tyson Fauché from Two Dads and a Chaz here, reminding you should always drink water. Good for you. Get some water in you, Well, you just drinking beer and not water. You got to drink water once in a while, Water. Drink it. Back to you.
What are you drinking? Juice?
We're talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah. Talking Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Talking Green Bay Packers. Yeah. We're talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah.
And welcome back to this special basement edition of Two Dads and a Chaz. I, again, am your host, Tyson Fauché. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to thank you for continuing to like, subscribe, and listen to the channel. This last episode, I want to personally apologize for not getting out before the game pretty much started. I do appreciate everyone who gave it a listen. Stick with us. We are 4 very busy men doing our best, and once in a while, one slips past the goalie. So we'll keep making them, putting them out. Thank you for your patience. Like, share, and subscribe. Getting back to the conversation about the Packers. And is there a tell on our team? Because the Bears felt like they knew the play before the play happened. Our quarterback, as much as I love him, wonderful thing about Jordan's a wonderful thing, is he bounce back there. It seems like when he gets in a rhythm, he starts doing like 2 or 3 hops before he throws. Now, here's nothing wrong with that. If you're in like high school and you got to get that velocity up, you're trying to get your C over the line or whatever the case. But if you're a defense and he's bouncing, he's going to throw the ball when his feet are on the ground. You can see when he's doing different stuff. I just wonder if his rhythmic style, when he's playing his best, can sometimes have a tell in how he throws the ball. And I know that's probably bullshit, but I just noticed that he bounces a lot. And I can't tell you one other successful Hall of Fame bouncing quarterback. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I love your conspiratorial side. This is great. I think the Bears are probably just cheating.
Okay, that's fine too. It's fine too. Mayhew, you see the bouncing?
Yeah, he's like Tigger, man.
Yeah,
I like once you start to notice it, like it's just his style. And if that's what it
giant feet, his feet have got to be size 18. I feel like his legs are long, like everything about him. It's hard to play compact, like a lot of quarterbacks are trained to play these days. He's like Jared Goff. He's like real spread out, playing to his own rhythm. And I love the way he throws. He gets such crazy velocity, the way his arm swings through. But you also get a lot of those wild overthrows. And also, if you're jumping around, it's just not going to help your accuracy. As far as I can tell, a lot of technique has to do with your feet being on the ground. and not in the air, especially when you're 6'4". You don't need to bounce. You're not Doug Flutie.
I feel like this has been talked about by pundits like the entire time that he's been quarterback, right? It's just like
I
Brett
don't hear anyone
Favre.
talking about his bouncing. Not like Two Dads and a Chaz. This is exclusive as far as I
Yeah,
can tell.
this is
I guess we're tackling this first, yeah. Tyson, I guess what I will say is I don't think it's a tell. I think if anything, it's he's fucking erratic where it's even harder to know what the hell this guy's gonna do, right? But if you're talking about LaFleur and his momentum management, I think that's an important thing to touch on here. And I think play calling is something that I was scratching my head a few times in this game. In particular, we got to talk about this 2-point conversion a little bit, because that was the one that I had the hardest time with, right? Okay. For a guy that loves to run motion more than anybody, sometimes to a fault, in my opinion, he doesn't do it. And then he hands the ball off Josh Jacobs, I believe, in shotgun formation, nobody blocking. And then Rasheed Walker just basically misses his guy entirely. It's like, man, if you want to line up and just run the ball, let's fucking do it. I got your back. Like, get Tucker in there. Let's bulldoze. But what was the thought there?
He likes to get cute as shit. He just likes to be the cutest little guy with his 900 misdirections and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, dude, we're a better offensive line than their defensive line. Can we just dominate these guys proper? Like, it feels like
he literally ran to the worst side. The offensive line, look, Rasheed Walker, great pass blocker. I'll give him that. He is not going to like bulldoze like anything for you. So conceptually, I thought it was horrible. Execution, even worse. And it kind of put us like in this spot where Tyson, like I think you're alluding to, he outthinks himself a little bit too much these days.
Especially under pressure, in these big pressure situations, in the red zone, in big moments. He's thinking too many steps. Oh, well, they'll think I'll do that, so that's why I'm going to do this. But then they'll know I'm going there, so I'm going this way. It's just like this is how the Seahawks throw interception.
God,
Super Bowl.
He really wanted to go 11-0 against these Bears. He did not want to. The amount of emotion that I saw in Matt LaFleur on this sideline was uncharacteristic. Yeah. He was, it was full on rage at times. He was throwing towels, he was throwing play cards, he was throwing headphones.
Oh, I had a little lip reading sesh where I figured out he was saying a lot of adult language, guys. Fucking bullshit was one. Horse shit was another one. He's talking about multiple animal shit. That's not a happy coach. Yeah. Just listing mammals. You're letting the man down.
But the streak stays alive. Look, to get into the playoffs, they don't ask you how. They just ask you how many.
You're right.
And you're going to win some ugly ones. You're going to lose some heartbreakers. That's the season.
This is what we're dealing with here. An angry LaFleur coming at you. He's pissed. What is this horse shit? Like, he's going to start swearing, guys. He's already yelled at this guy once. He's gone back for a second round.
That was my favorite. When there was one part in the game where LaFleur took his headphones off, was shouting at somebody, put the headphones back on for maybe 3 seconds until he realized he had more rageful things he wanted to say.
He's still mad.
Yep. Let me continue on here, because there's another one that I used to think was a Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers thing. When Jordan ran for like the touchdown, that from every angle I saw was not a touchdown. In either case, it's like, hey man, you're on like the half-yard line. Nope. We're going to throw the challenge flag. And look, I understand he's got to have people upstairs, whoever they are, fucking fire them, because this happens over and over. When games are that close, you need those timeouts. What are you trying to do? And those are, again, Tyson, those tight game decisions are where he is falling short repetitively, man.
It's not only high pressure situations, it's momentum management. If we go for 2 field goals in those red zone 4th downs where we didn't make it, right? If we kick field goals on both of those, we're up by 7 points. This game feels completely different. Now the Bears need to drive all the way down the field, get a touchdown to tie it. They're not up for that. That's a lot of pressure on them. We made it easy on them. All they need to get is a field goal, and we gave them a bunch of yards. Like, that's a bad situation defensively, but also that's a terrible decision by the coach. If he's looking at getting a touchdown as the only mark of success and not looking at, well, we got points on the drive, that wasn't a failure and that was a success, that gets us closer, that's a problem. That means that we're going to be going for it on 4th down in situations where we had points on the board. Not only are you gambling those 3 points away, you're gambling the momentum away. You're giving the other team all the momentum. Now you got to go start fresh. You got to rebuild everybody's belief that you're going to get it done, and they won't believe it until they see you go in the end zone. Like I don't like the sabermetrics that tell you need to go for it 4th down every time. Mayhew.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. The Bears start on like the 1 yard line. Halfley, fucking tighten it up. God damn it. They walk down the field in like the most embarrassing of fashion. It's like, if you want to be elite, because I watched like the Bills in the Kansas City Chiefs game, fellas, some of these other teams out there will run us down if we play to this level. So I'm just putting it out there. As much as I was frustrated with the choices in that situation, that was the one time where I'm like, defense, just contain like a little bit, and they walked all over us, man. The Chicago Bears. Come on.
It's performance anxiety, and I see it on this team way too often. At this point, I've seen enough data, enough tape to know that when the pressure's on, we are not at our best. We are not willing to stomp on the throats of our opponent. We will still play down to our opponent or up to our opponent. It's just too late sometimes.
Do we want to touch on this blocked field goal? It seems like rather significant.
Oh, yeah.
We're just
Lucas Van Ness like pushed up the butt of like it was legal. Our special teams coach said he'd be disappointed if we didn't get at least 1 block against this team because that kicker has a low kick angle,
low trajectory, all that stuff. Yeah.
So I think we have enough meat to talk about this for a second. This is actually a win for our special teams. Honestly, I would call this a special teams win in the game in general. And Versace finally gets a plus in check for once. So is Versace worth a pile of dog shit? He finally did something right. What do we do? Can't fire him today. What now?
Keeping it light.
I never want to take another man's job. That's the thing I don't believe. Fuck that. Fire them all. Burn the ground.
Call special teams timeout, and I was full of rage.
For me, Ty, these like the hard facts as far as like what I was watching was number one, like you said, Bisaccia said going into this game that he would be shocked if we didn't block an extra point or a field goal. Number 2, and I think most importantly, was that the Bears were driving down on us with ease, right? And what was it? It was like second. They still had like another down to basically try to just run a couple more yards, get even closer. But the coach, Eberflus, love that guy, decides like, well, I don't want to fumble. He's going to play safe. That kind of thing. And then number 3, I don't know, just that.
Oh, genius of burning all your timeouts. So the pressure's on. He doesn't have a second chance.
That's
ice
right.
in the kicker.
Oh, that was
an
it.
Ice-free kicker.
Yeah, the kicker was expecting to be iced. He was like waiting for it. He was out there taking practice swings with his leg when he realized that the Packers were out of timeouts and he wasn't going to get another 45 seconds to think about this one.
We burned that timeout earlier, guys. It's all part of the plan. That's just Versace rolling deep.
Versace. Versace was like, I'm going to call a timeout on special teams and enrage everyone. It'll pay off later, guys. Trust me. When we're unable to ice the kicker.
Yeah, I didn't even. That's so good.
Uniced. It's hot ice.
Neat. Like this was not the bounce back win we were looking for after the Lions lost.
No.
But this was a bounce back loss for the Bears.
It was.
Only the Bears can lose the following week and have it be a bounce back week. They're coming into the next week with a ton more confidence than they had coming in against the Packers because now they think they can score touchdowns. So, if anybody got the shot of confidence, despite the fact that they lost, it should be the Bears and the Bears fans.
And you know what's great here, too, is it leaves them in this, had we come out and we beat them 35-3, right? They're going to fire their head coach. Eberflus, you're gone. And now they're in this weird kind of well, I don't know. This guy kind of called some good plays. It's well, we'll keep this thing going.
Classic Bears. They're going to eat each other alive. This is how they do it. This is how fields happen. This is how this guy got drafted in the first place. They don't know what to do. And they listen to their fans, which is a terrible plan because their fans are nuts. It's Cowboys doing the same thing. Don't ever do that. You hire people to make those choices. You don't send out a poll as to who I should draft. That's a bad strategy. Bad strategy. All right. This game also changes the complexity of the rest of the season. Let me explain. Not only do we need to win the rest of our in-division games, obviously, but the Bears have unfinished business. This game that we have against them at Lambeau, this just got a lot hotter. I'll tell you that. They're going to come in. This is their Super Bowl. They're not going to the playoffs. They know that. They have to beat us now. They are so, that there's not a player on the Bears that has beat a Green Bay Packer currently on their roster. That's how many times we've beaten them recently. They're haunted by us. They make us to be some kind of hurdle that allows them to find success. I just have a lot of anxiety now about this last matchup where I feel like we're gonna need to play our best because they're gonna bring everything they got. And downtown Tommy Brown is going to be coaching for a head coaching job by that point because they're going to be changing everything there. So this is Mayu. Can you give me the rest of the schedule real quick?
Okay, so this Sunday at 3:25, we face the 49ers. For me and Ty, we touched on this earlier, the ultimate villain. It's like this needs to end. They're coming into our house, got to go down. After that, gentlemen, you're going to stuff some turkey in your belly, and we're going to play the Miami Dolphins at the night game. So 7:25. Also a Thursday. Now, what's crazy is a week later, we play the Detroit Lions, also on a Thursday at 7:15, where Tyson will be rolling, gun in pocket, ready to deliver a W. Following that, we play Seattle at Seattle, a night game on Sunday at 7:20. So, man, this team is going to get thrown into the blender as far as, it's not 12 o'clock every single week.
The Seattle that just beat the 49ers, right?
Also true.
And they're also happen to be in second place. So they're going to need that win too.
I will say on that note, that division beats themselves up more than any other, where I'm just like, Seattle, like you just really like, all right. Yeah, makes sense.
Used to be the NFC East. Now that's a laughing stock.
Don't worry, Tyson. The Seahawks will turn around and immediately lose to the Cardinals the following week.
You're right. There's no rhyme or reason over there. May you continue?
That's very true, Chai. Thank you. Week 16 brings us back home on Monday Night Football, where our boy Chazzy Baby Boy is going to be there to see us play the New Orleans Saints again at 7:15 at night. After that is where we round out the season, boys, in the division. We were going to play the Minnesota Vikings, 12:29 at noon. We're going to fuck them up. And then we end the season against the Chicago Bears.
Right.
It literally says TBD because they're like, is this game going to matter? Probably not.
They always do that. They always do that for the last game of the year against the Bears. So, like, are they even going to let them play? Yeah, they'll let them play. No, I think that game has just got a lot more interesting. We won't win again.
I don't know. I think you're giving the Bears way too much credit. I think the Packers laid a big old egg. I think I'm impressed by this Bears team over previous Bears teams, but I'm impressed in the way that I'm like, oh, they're not a 2-15 Bears team. Look at these guys. They're a 7-win Bears team. That's how rare it is to have a near average Bears team in the division, is that when they tack 4 more wins on than usual, we're just like, whoa, look out. Strongest division in the league now.
You got a point there. Yeah, you got a point. A 500 Bears team does feel like a winner for no good reason in my heart. So I don't know what's that about. You're right.
Anytime they get more than 5 wins in a season, these Bears fans should just be celebrating.
Well, guys, we're going to take a short break. And when we get back, we're going to get into the 49ers. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Packers football.
You want to see a dead body?
LensCrafters can have your prescription done in under an hour. Prescription done in under an hour. LensCrafters. Like a jogger, they always find bodies. Oh, LensCrafters is a great company. You get you a nice big angle, like 80s, kind of 90s. 90s moms loves LensCrafters. My mom, a lot of LensCrafters and Payless in my household. A lot of Diet Right.
Yeah. We're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Tyson, I kind of like you in this
weird basement.
This background. It's like working for me. I said, like, stay there. Chaz stays in the other. Is
Oh, this is
Yeah.
bullshit. I built that studio for me. This is my house.
Well,
God damn it.
Put Chaz in your
Kicked out of my
spot.
own house. It
No,
feels
not like
good.
that.
Yeah, your family chased you downstairs, and then your friend chased you into by the
No,
water
and now I'm in the
heater.
corner with the fucking water heater, you know?
Pretty soon a dog is gonna come along and be like, Tyson, this is my corner by the water
know.
heater. Could you please move your ass?
I feel like I can't wear sunglasses over here. It's too dark. I can't see a thing. So I gotta go with au naturel, the eyeball. Because they're enjoying the old baby blues.
I hope our listener really is just people who go on long road trips and need help staying awake.
Well,
We can assist with that.
Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football.
And we are back. Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz. We appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, sharing, just running your big fat mouths about us. Just go talk to anybody wearing a Packers shirt. Like, you heard about Two Dads and a Chaz? You haven't? I thought you were Packers fans. That must just be a shirt. And they'll be like, no, I'm a huge Packers fan. Like, then you don't know about Two Dads and a Chaz. Like, you can just make everyone feel like they're failing you. So just go out there. Let them know about Two Dads and a Chaz. Really appreciate you spreading the good word, liking, subscribing, all those things, and just hanging out with us. We're just three fellas just chatting here. 49ers coming up. Are you guys ready for this? Packers, 49ers. I fucking hate this team. Who's with me? Mayhew, 49ers.
Literally the bane of my existence. And it's not regular season, you know what I mean? It has been playoffs. We run into this team over and over, whether it's on the road and we give up like 200 billion fucking running yards, just like run it down our throat, or if it's who's that QB that got blacklisted? Remind me again.
Kaepernick.
That's the one. That guy doing his thing, or Brock Purdy, or like
bicep.
It doesn't matter. They're blocking field goals and we lose like 13-10. It's just like the worst of the worst. It never seems to end. And I need it to end this Sunday.
Agree. A lot of layers here. There's a lot of layers of us hating this team. The 49ers underestimating the Green Bay Packers. In fact, I don't even think that they count the times that we have beaten them because I can barely remember them. I can't imagine that they're ringing a bell for the 49ers. I'm pretty sure they think they're going to come and just scrape us off the bottom of their shoe at our house. It burns my biscuits. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It boils my coffee, and I can't drink my coffee. I hate this team. I hate them. Like the Bears hate us. I hate the 49ers. The difference is that we have everything it takes to dominate and at least beat this team. Stop them and start our trajectory towards being a playoff Super Bowl contending team.
Well, I've got good news for both of you fellas. This 49ers team this season, nowhere near as good or as cohesive or as savage as previous 49er teams. This is about the low point for this franchise. They're dredging the pond right now, largely due to injury. I know they didn't have Christian McCaffrey for the first half of the season, and Debo has been in and out with, I don't know, psychiatric problems. But
I have it as a hippo bleep or whatever. You know?
It feels like the wheels have totally come off the bus. Shanahan has no idea how to put out the fires, and this 49ers team is not the 49ers team of years past, despite the continuity of players.
I do feel like Shanahan's shine on the paint job is starting to get a little cloudy. You know, he's been there a while, had a lot of time in the sun, and that red is just not as cherry as it used to be. I feel like he's still top, maybe the best coach in football. So he's getting less connected to reality, and it feels like he's not listening. He's not accepting the team he has, and I think it drives his team a lot of the time. But it also at times gives them an opportunity to come crashing down to reality. Boy, I hope this is one of those times. Mayhew, let's get into this 49ers team roster real quick, just to remind people who we're going up against, because there is a lot of players that were not playing just a couple of weeks ago that are back. I just wanted to start with some injuries, if that's okay, of players that were injured that are going to be back this week.
T-Bone, there are some significant names. Ty touched on it. Christian McCaffrey, their bell cow running back, was out 75% of the season. Literally came back a week ago. This guy has some serious. God damn it! What's the injury? T-Bone, help me out here.
He has the Achilles injury.
Achilles.
They're trying to hold that Achilles explosion off as long as possible. The inevitable Achilles explosion for a juiced up running back.
Yeah, gentlemen, most times that happens in one leg. This guy has had it in both. Where like he literally went to the doctors here in America and they're like, you should probably not play football. He's like, fuck you. I'm going to Europe. Over there, they're like, well, I don't know. We can probably inject you with something, get you back on the field in week 12.
Yeah.
Good to go. All right.
If you don't want to live, it doesn't matter, really. We can make it work.
But on top of that, I'm looking at the injury report here. We got Trent Williams, starting left tackle, probably the best in the league when healthy.
He's playing. That guy never practices.
Yeah, he doesn't practice.
He's like the Reggie White. You hear like Reggie White never worked out. Like Trent Williams has never practiced. He's just that fucking big kid in your neighborhood that like nobody messes with. And if they do, he just like throws their head into the cement and they're like, Jesus, don't mess with him. He'll kill you. Continue.
God, that's a solid take, Tyson. Thank you. Thank you. Brock Purdy, he's got a right shoulder problem. That is his throwing arm. He was a limited participant. Who gives a shit? This man is pedestrian. I don't care. Anybody out there that wants to tell me that Brock Purdy is going to win a Super Bowl, go fuck yourself, okay?
I think Tom Brady is going to be the first because he, again, is playing that inside-out game. Only difference is that he ran a couple in this last game that were actually uncharacteristic of his skill set. But he's willing to throw it on the line. It sounds like he injured his shoulder as a result. But still, there's some heart in that little fella. And he's willing to throw it all on the line. And I hope we can catch him on the line and injure him badly. Continue.
Yeah, well said, Tyson. I'll continue on. George Kittle, very elite tight end that has sold my friends meth on more than one occasion. He, on the injury report, he's got a hamstring. But he literally, quote today, he's going to play on Sunday. This guy is going to pull it together, do what he needs to do. He'll be on the field, and we need to account for that. The biggest one.
The meth makes him try hard.
The meth, yeah. Where it really matters, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Bosa, one of the more dominant DNs in the entire goddamn league. He also did not participate. I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday, but if he does, the focus goes there. On the defensive line, it's the kind of guy that you want. And if we want to talk about defensive lines, let's shift the conversation over to ours and how pedestrian these fucking front four has been. Ty, what's going on there, man? Whether it's Rashawn, whether it's Kenny.
I'm worried. I'm worried about the Packers' ability to stop the run. Every time we've seen a good running back, they have thrashed us. I mean, it does not take a totally healthy Christian McCaffrey either to scare me with how much of a sieve we've been against the run all season. So no, you're spot on with that one.
And they're deep, guys. Don't think that it ends at Christian McCaffrey. That Jordan Mason guy would be a starter on most teams. He's they just come up with running backs in that San Francisco quicker than anyone else.
Tyson, that's well put. I would say like their third stringer is like a starting running back like in the rest of the league. You know, it's like a embarrassment of riches.
Now they did lose their I guess he's number 2 wide receiver. What the hell's his name? Ayuk is out for the season, but we still got Deebo Samuels and his silly little shorts that he wears to the games and his little designer handbags. He's gone full insane, which is great. But it seems like he's slowing down. He's like an old Jaden Reed at this point. Something to consider. How we are going to handle with them if they're going to do a bunch of end around nonsense, which again comes right back to our defensive line. The reason I bring that up, because our defensive line has been easily tricked, pushed around. We're just not getting pushed, man. And we're not an old team. And it seems like we're in shape. So I just don't get it. I don't understand. When are these guys going to start playing up to their potential? Or have we seen that? And also it gets cold. Guys get stronger as the year goes on. There's people that become heroes in the back half of the season that weren't there in the front half. What's going to happen?
Well, Tyson, you don't want to come out too hot. You want to wait until like week 15, 16, 17 to really start. Yeah, stepping up. But gentlemen, can we talk about the cornerback room? Because let's just say if Jair Alexander is out of the picture, which he has been as of recent, I don't feel good about like anything we have going on. Like the depth there that I used to think was like actually like a strength is kind of showing a weakness. And this also reflects on Jeff Hadley, because I think that was like the strongest point of the defensive mindset, you know what I mean? The game plan that he brings to the table. Though our front four has been a really soft point in this defense, I think the cornerback room has been what's been letting us down over the past couple of weeks. And long term, when we have to go against the Kansas City Chiefs, like these people that will eat you alive with good quarterbacks, do you have hope that we have the answers within this room?
Yeah, I think Brock Purdy does suck. And I don't think it takes an unbelievable cornerback to give Brock Purdy fits. I think we've got the guys that can do it, to be deceitful enough and aggressive enough. It's going to come down to the Matt LaFleur, Shanahan, who does it better in the number of people that run this football. I thought Matt LaFleur was unique in that, you look at the stats after the game, he's got 8-9 guys who ran the football that game. The only other team in the league that also does that is the 49ers. I don't think there's going to be much throwing at all, quite frankly, if either team can help it. Not because Jordan Love sucks. It's just a smart strategy we've seen LaFleur. He really likes to ride the run this year.
There's more eloquence in the play design. You get to see it unfold. You get to watch your guys fail one by one. The problem is if you don't land one of those blocks, the whole thing falls apart.
But if I'm asking Valentine or Ballantyne or Bullard to go shut down Brock Purdy, I think they can do it. I think they're capable of it, especially because Debo looks slow. Ayuk is out. I mean, it's going to be Kittle, and I just don't think they're as deep in wide receiver as they've been in years past, or as deep in wide receiver as they are in other departments.
I don't agree with that. I want to argue that point, Ty, because they're pretty darn loaded at wide receiver. Even still, that Juwan Jennings is a deep threat. He's
overrated.
Dude, he's making big plays. Look at his stats, man. You give me the stat. Ricky Pearsall and Chris Connolly have had to sub in a lot this year and have shown that they are productive players on this team too. They're used to being on the field. They have more of their offense together in this game than they have in the last 4. So really, like, this is we're like, all right, we got our starting running back, our starting tight end, our starting wide receiver. Let's go get it. They are going to go at our weak spot. And as much as I agree that we're going to be needing to stop the run, our cornerback room is an issue. If Jair can't go, and I don't know where he's at on his availability for the game, but I'd imagine there's a good chance he can't. I really don't like what I saw out of Valentine in that game last, guys. I thought that he was exposed badly. He had a lot of tackles that game because they were going at him consistently. They were running crossers right in front of him. He didn't know what to do. Him and McKinney were getting into it. It feels like there's a side of him where he gets in other guys' heads, but if he doesn't know what he's doing, it doesn't really matter. Or if he's just not getting off the ball quick, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot more Eric Stokes, who we know how that's going to go, but they're going to start him this next week because at least he knows the playbook. And I feel like that's what's going to come down to. And I don't think that we're going to, even if we had the guy with the best knowledge of the playbook, I don't like our chances against this team. I don't like Valentine against either one of those wide receivers or any of their slots.
They have a very similar roster to the rosters of the couple years past. I mean, they didn't lose a lot of guys. They've maintained their talent, and that it's the cohesion, it's the working together, it's the playing as a team.
It's the Kyle Juszczyk of it. They're the only team that has a fullback in the entire NFL, and they don't shy away from it. And they give them 6 or 7 opportunities a game, and they all work. I mean, if that's not a fuck you, I don't know what is. I don't know anyone in the league that's willing to push a fullback, and we don't have an answer for a fullback that's willing to catch a ball for 30 yards at any given point. Like, this guy is a tight end that is really good at this bizarre role that only the 49ers have been able to carve out. There's not another successful fullback in football.
It's cool. I miss the fullback.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles that just between the tight end room and the fullback room, I'm concerned. Our linebackers did not show that they were doing well against the pass last week. I do like what I saw out of Cox a lot. I thought Brendan Cox coming off the bench, getting an opportunity to play now that there's some room with Smith leaving the team. I think that gives us an unknown edge and a guy with fresh legs this point in the year that can really get you somewhere 2-3 weeks. Mayhew.
Let's shift the conversation to Cox because everybody's excited about this guy.
Classic May, you're talking about Cox again.
Yeah. Guy came off the edge twice, completely unblocked, and tackled somebody in the backfield. Congratulations. This is not a pass move, not a spin move, not showcasing hand placement. Yeah, great. Tyson, tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I follow this team all year long, guys. I follow him when it's the camp, the mini camps. He's good. He's a good player. He just had an opportunity to play. He's one of these guys that needs an opportunity to play to show what he can do. I think he is one of the few guys that can get pass rush consistently. I think he has fresh legs. And I think he's going to get a sack legit next week. I'm going to rub it in your face, Mayhew. I'm going to show it to you.
I would love to see anybody on this defensive line actually showcase a pass move. Because aside from Rashawn Gary and dude, LVN, it's the same thing. They try to like
what's going on.
If you can't just push a guy into the quarterback and everybody falls down, like that's like what we got at this point. I feel like
hang on now, Carl Brooks, big man on the defensive end outside, or he's coming and making pressure again. Fresh legs, put him in there. He was getting pushed pretty much the entire game. He's the reason we won the game. He's the one who slapped the ball. I don't think you can the world has done nothing but underestimate Carl Brooks. To this point in his life, no one expects him to be as successful. He gained like 50 pounds in 3 weeks. He's back out there. All of a sudden, he's a big man. I love it. I love what he's bringing to the team. Keep eating those turkey legs. Keep putting that pressure on. I expect him to get 1.5 sacks. I'm calling it 1.5 sacks on Purdy Pants. It's coming for you.
Ty, I think it was week 1. It was like Ty's tangent zone. And the question was, if playmakers aren't making plays, like the people that were paying the most money, like, is it a big deal? And Tyson said some fucking horrible answer about like, it doesn't really necessarily matter, you know, but here we are in a week and Rashawn Gary has like 1.5 sacks and Jair Alexander, you know, he's sitting on the sidelines. So Ty, let me ask you, do you think it's important for the people that we pay the most amount of money to be just coming up wildly short week after week?
You want to get the most value out of every guy. I don't think our problems with our highest paid guys are as bad as other people's problems. I mean, I'm watching this Deebo Samuel punch the long snapper in the throat, just straight on a something that didn't even involve him. Like walked over and just, I mean, it's like our guys aren't that. You know what I mean? So Jair's also, this is not new from Jair. Like,
True.
He only plays 11 games a season. We know this about Jair. Like,
good point.
He has the Aaron Jones strategy. He wants to be fresher for the playoffs.
I like that. Hey man, that's when we need him. I don't need him. Here's the difference. Here's the difference between Brock Purdy and Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick only had 5 plays, and a real voice. Whereas Brock Purdy is the same one-dimensional quarterback, except his 5 plays aren't cool. Like his five plays are like 3 of them are roll out to the right and throw the ball out of bounds. I can't in any way understand why Brock Purdy gets any respect at all in this league. I love Ty because he, regardless of who we're playing, as soon as they become an opponent of us, he's like, these guys are dog shit. They don't do anything right.
Garbage.
These guys are like, I've never met.
Hey, I was afraid of the Lions just like you guys.
Everyone we play against. Every time. And you don't learn. And I love that about you too. Don't ever change.
No.
I hope you're right every time. You know, we should beat these motherfuckers. I'm tired of them. There's everything. Red's a terrible outfit. I've been over this. All red teams are trash. You don't want to wear a red outfit. What are you doing? Sorry, Wisconsin. I hate to burst your bubble. You're never going to win.
Red?
You're wearing red.
The red is the thing that bothers you about that team.
Nuts.
The gold is what bothers me. It's like 5th grade girl binder gold. Like it's like
Trapper Keeper Gold.
Yeah, the girl you had a crush on in 5th grade. The gold on her Trapper Keeper is the same gold on the 49ers helmets. It is
you're right.
awful.
It is awful.
The blood red, kind of neat. The gold is a cheesy, cheap, like
They
trash. They look so
it
is so trailer trash gold. I can't. 49ers, you have dumb, ugly jerseys.
It's synth gold, and that's crazy from the Gold State. You'd think they go pan themselves some accurate color gold up there, but they can't even do that right. Can't even do that. And they changed the red to match the Levi's red because they just love that, and they named their stadium after it. And they're like, yeah, we're that same red. That's fine. Mayhew, what were you gonna say?
I just thought it was a good time to take a commercial break.
Gosh, he's right. He's right. Let's take a break, and we'll get back, and we'll talk some more Packers football after this. Take a break.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Tyson, Juwan Jennings, dude, you're not wrong. This guy has come out so strong over the past 3 weeks. He went from like 2 receptions, 3 receptions to now 10, 12 over the past week, 90 plus yards.
He's their Christian Watson. He's coming up in big plays. They're giving him one-on-one balls. Go get it. And he's going and getting it. I don't like that guy matched up against our number 1 or number 2 corner. I don't want Jair Alexander following around Debo's crazy ass and running back.
Juwan Jennings is tied for 38th in receptions with 42. He's 23rd, which would be...
It's only 31 teams. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I prefer Ty's take of like, look, Brock Purdy's only got 3 moves, and they're just
throwing it out of bounds.
I watched this 49ers team. That's Brock
awesome.
That's Brock Purdy's go-to.
It's true. But Jordan could copy that once in a while. I'd be fine with Jordan pulling a Purdy once in a while. Throw it out of bounds. There's a reason this team is in it, even though they're bad, is they don't beat themselves, but they do too. Yeah, but they should make less mistakes. They have a lot of carryover of the same players. They have not done a good job of being a complementary football team to themselves, but they have all the tools to do it, and we should have some tools to stop them. There's a couple things that concern me, guys, again, and it's our defensive line and our cornerback room. You said it earlier, and now you talked me into it. You're right. We need to. I hope we come up with some kind of strategy here to get some fresh legs, some fresh rotation. Do we know, Mayhew? Can you look into it? Did Kenny Clark even play in that game? That last game? Was he on the sidelines? Is that why Carl Brooks was there? I'm curious if he even played. We need someone with some goddamn juice because Wyatt didn't have it. I mean, he's out there being dirty, and I like that a lot. I like a lot about Wyatt, but I'm not seeing the consistent push out of him. He's go get the quarterback 3 times a game, and then he'll give up some runs up the middle too. Like, we need someone to hold that middle of the field. I felt like Kenny wasn't even in that game.
Holy shit, Tyson! As you say that, and this is just Bleacher Report. I'm looking at the stat line. He's not here.
So maybe Kenny can come back and create a completely different defensive line situation. And also, like, if you're the Packers, knowing what you know about the Bears, coming off a bye week, you're going to work on everything but like what we got to do to beat the Bears. There's no way they didn't look past this game. There's no way they didn't have the 49ers circled as like, this will help us for our 49ers game. We'll do that because that'll set us up for the 49ers game. Like, this has been circled. I expect us to come with our best shit. And if in them too, I expect to see a really, really good game. Again, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back after this.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
The fact that you just brought that up about Kenny was the first time maybe he's dealing with something. And they never talk about it. And then it's like at the end of the season, they're like, oh, it turns out I was kind of like, like I had a torn fucking pec or whatever. It's like, at least I can understand and I can stop dogging you like week after week on 2D and a C.
He's had that turf toe, which is a fancy word for broken ass toe. Like,
yeah.
They call it, make it sound like it's no big deal. Like, that's just a stinger. No, that's like a vertebrae fucking separation. That's like permanent damage. Might not feel your left arm for a couple of days. That's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, man.
They downplay pretty serious nerve damage. So like, I feel like he's been playing through a lot. It seems like it's really affecting him. I just know that there's a lot of guys that really slows down their game, and then a lot of guys that play right through it. So it's hard to say.
Dude, when you're in the trenches too, it's like,
I
man, your
know.
feet, like all that shit. It's tough.
Hopefully he gets back out there and can give us some production.
The defensive line hasn't gotten home like very much this year. Back-to-back plays, but it was the second one from Gary. They did the close-up of like his like face mask, remember? It was like all like jammed up. It was like just his eyes looking all badass. It's like, yeah. And then on 3rd and 8, they gave up like 40 yards. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. All right.
We haven't had a convincing win, guys. We lost to the Lions. We, as Tyson has been saying, pretty much lost to the Bears.
Glad you accepted it.
We have not had, I was going to come around eventually. Even the poor teams we faced, I saw the Lions put up, 56 on Jacksonville? We squeaked out a 3-point win against that team. The only resounding win, 21-point win against the Cardinals. And that thing, we ran that up late. I don't know. This game makes me really nervous.
There's two ways to look at this. Either this team has not put it together yet and our best games are in front of us, or this team is a collaboration of what we've already seen this year. This team is flawed in some regards. It's the first year in a new defensive concept, and we're short on pass rush. I want to believe when it gets colder in Green Bay and when it gets colder in the league and everybody slows down a touch, that our makeup of this team is going to be the right one. It's going to click. It's going to fuse. I've just seen it too many times to not believe that could happen. Looking at what we've thrown down so far on tape, there's some vulnerabilities that could be taken advantage of that any coach is going to see and is going to go right at. We better play our best ball or you're going to see a lot of the same. We're going to know what's what. Guys, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Dads and Chaz. We're wrapping her up here. Anything left in your glass today, gentlemen?
T-Bone, I do have one that I thought was pretty cool. So according to Matt LaFleur, Robert Saleh, for those of you out there who didn't know, like Jets head coach got fired, apparently stood up in this man's wedding, like somewhere along the way, and now is like been brought on as not a defensive consultant, but an offensive. So if you didn't notice, the play that was to Christian Watson, this is 25-yard completion. So he basically, how is it worded here? The explosive play that said to the Packers, go ahead, touchdown run from running back Josh Jacobs. On that play, Watson faked a stalk block. You can kind of see he comes up, does the fake. They bit entirely. He breaks off into the left side, drilled it for a 25-yard completion. Again, that set up the touchdown where, God, for me, that's like my favorite part of football. It's like all this thought that actually goes into it. It's like you watch tape, you watch a defense, you see like a little chink in the armor, you call the play, everybody executes a 25-yard gain. So Robert Saleh, welcome to the fucking squad. Thank you for that. 2019.
We need evolution and we need wrinkles. If you didn't see the episode, a couple that we put out, Ty and I went over the Robert Saleh hiring, but ultimately there's no downside on our side to this. This feels like a special year to have him here and nothing but an advantage. And if our defense continues to find no pressure, I sure hope he wouldn't mind maybe, talking with the defensive line coach about some better realistic stunts to be running or something, because I can't imagine you have one of the best defensive minds in football on your team and you're struggling to get a pass rush for multiple weeks in a row, and he might have some things to say. So I'd imagine against the 49ers, we might be willing to break the glass on that part of the relationship, as much as they said that he's not there for the defense. This is against the 49ers. These guys are all in the same fantasy football league. They're all talking shit on the chat line. They're the coaches, bad team. They got to win this game for bragging rights. He wasn't in the wedding party. He wasn't the best man, was he? No, he wasn't.
I think if Hafley is going to be Matt LaFleur's guy for the long term, he's going to have to be cool with situations like that. He's going to have to be cool when the boss pulls rank and says, this is how it's going to be now. A decent guy is going to yield to that and trust his boss and think that he has his best interest in mind, respect his boss, and allow it. If this works with Hafley, like the sky's the limit. If this collapses it, then he never really was cut out to be Matt's guy anyway. Tyson?
This is an incredible power move now that I think about it. Because you think about Halfley, where we were concerned, like, oh man, what if he's too good? Like, he's going to be a head coach by next year. This slows that train down a little bit. Like, what can he do without Salah? It's hard to say. We'll give him a full another year. Like, this is gonna hit the brakes.
Is he looking over his shoulder, thinking Salah is eyeing his office?
I just think Salah's the guy next year. It's certainly not a year for him. I just feel like it. But if you listen to Halfley talk, there's no way he's not going to be a head coach at some point. He's good. He's good. I just hope that we can get a Super Bowl ring or two before that happens. That was a concern up to this point. This helps get us there a little longer, you know?
Look, gentlemen, I'm not sure what direction you're trying to take this conversation, but what I was trying to point out myself and LaFleur, what's the quote here? A little nugget is, man, in the NFL, everybody's kind of running similar concepts. Everybody's doing similar things. So it's like the people that dig into the details, that find that little glitch. Gentlemen, what I was alluding to and what Coach LaFleur talked about was nugget in quotations, where Robert Saleh studied a team throughout the week and he saw just like a chink in the armor that he could take advantage of. And hey, everybody in this league is running similar concepts where if you can just find those little nuances to take advantage of, that can be the difference between winning and losing football games. You only get so many possessions a game. Those are the kind of things that I hope Robert Saleh can continue to bring to this offense, and hopefully will pay dividends down the line. Tyson?
Yeah, we need more evolution and someone who comes in with that kind of forward thinking. But yeah, I like anyone who has the ear of the coach, that he can look at his failures and his shortcomings and grow from them. That's super valuable. And that takes trust. That takes best friend, life partner trust. And the fact that he has that on this team, might be the biggest advantage in all of football. Let's get into some predictions. Who do you think is going to have the first touchdown in the game altogether? Not just Packers, not just 49. Who do you think it's going to be?
Pass.
All right, Ty, who do you think is going to get the first touchdown of the game? Not necessarily just on the Packers. First touchdown of the game goes to
Jayden Reed, of course, on a very strong opening drive.
Like it. Read the future. That's the name of this game. We're reading the future with our crystal balls, and we're touching our crystal balls, and our crystal balls are telling us.
That's a cool nickname for Jayden Reed too. The future.
Oh, he is the
Read
future.
the future.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say crystal balls. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Mayhew, who's going to be the first touchdown? You've had some time to think about it.
Thank you, Tyson. Thank you.
Failed us first, guys. Just let you know.
It's going to be Bo Melton out of fucking nowhere. Doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Boom. 50-yarder. Done.
All right. Well, I think we're all homers here because for me, it's going to be Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft on an impressive break 3 tackles and push his way into the end zone. Tone setting. Hello, you don't know me yet. Touchdown. That's what I think. I think it's going to be on the opening drive too, because we have looked good on opening sequences. Even this last game, we looked really good. We scored. Went right down, guys. 7 points. Da-da-boom. Player to watch. Who's your player to watch? Ty.
I'm watching this offensive line.
Yeah.
We have got to be able to run the ball. The 49ers are stacked on defense. They're going to be ready to shut it down, and they need something good to happen. And if you're going to focus on anything on defense, it's stopping what is obviously our strongest suit. So the offensive line to give good push. In particular, let's look for a big game from Myers, the center.
Oh, I like that. He's back. It's the 3rd week back. That's a
Yep.
great
And he's proven that when he was gone, he's critical.
Oh, he is. He's better than I thought. He's ready to be great. It's like a Jeff Saturday kind of evolution there. He feels like he's now kind of indispensable, which I'm down.
You do.
I
He
will,
is the
and real
leader
quick,
of that line.
before I mention, just honorable mention to Sean Ryan, who did his very best like whale impression, just crushing dudes in that last game. Just flail. He knows how to take all 360 pounds of his body and flop it onto whatever poor bastard was supposed to block. He's an
sometimes 2 poor bastards.
I know. He's this kind of, that's the same kind of thing you see out of the left tackle of the 49ers. I just like when I see a guy, using his weight to just throw people around. That makes me feel good. Mayhew, who's your player to watch?
Well, gentlemen, given our discussion, it's got to be Kenny Clark. At this point, I'm like,
Oh, nice.
is he going to be on the side of a goddamn milk box at the milk cart? Is that where we're at here? Like, I just want to make sure he's okay.
Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Yeah, man. I hope he's back and
Come back, Kenny. Yeah.
come back, Kenny.
Kenny, come back.
Oh, that's the best guy.
That was the one.
You
I said,
win.
Kenny, come back.
You can blame it all on me. I was wrong. I just can't live without you. Everyone's been
Kenny,
sick
come
around
back.
here. You're dealing with 3 guys that are dealing with sicknesses recently. So, like,
Sleep
just give me a couple of
deprivation.
weeks. Let me get you with
Delirium?
let me get my voice back together. You guys are gonna be blown away. My player to watch for me. Oh, you guys, I know you're curious. What's Tyson?
Bring it. What do you got, T-Bone?
Okay, you ready? You ready? McKinney.
Here.
I think McKinney is going to be a difference maker in this game. It seems like an obvious choice, but really, I think that we could be looking at a big play after big play after big play that changes this game. I think that they are going to question the validity of his greatness, and I think he's pissed about the way that last game went. And I hope that Jair comes back, and if he does, we get the return of Xavier McKinney, best free safety in football. And I think I could be the difference maker in this game.
I love it. T-Bone. I'll put this out there too. It's like, no, I legitimately felt like there for a moment. I apologize. I don't think smashing iPads over your knee needs to be a negative thing. You know what I mean? Positive, like interception, come over the sideline. They're like, hey, why don't you look at this film? He's like, boom, right over the knee. That could be his thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a waste of good laptops, but also whatever, they get new Surface Pros probably every game.
Oh, I'm sure they're coming up short on laptops.
It's tough.
Fucking
money's
iPads.
tight in the NFL. It's tight.
It was a horrible take. You go ahead and cut that. Yeah.
Couldn't do it without the volunteers. That's the truth,
Really, I mean, it's what gives them that 501c3 status and the ability to not pay any taxes in the United States.
Let's get some score predictions. It's time for score predictions. Ty, what's your score prediction?
I think that this one's a grind it out. This is going to be run versus defense, and I think the final score is Packers 26, 49ers 23.
Oh, I'll take that. That'd be a fun game. Mayhew, what's our score prediction?
I got this weird feeling, fellas. I got this weird feeling that we're going to get right and just hit them at I'm going to go 35-14. I think we're going to get straight, and we're going to send them off into fucking oblivion where it's like, yeah, San Francisco, you're no longer relevant, baby. Let's go.
What a day. And we dance and dance. That'd be awesome. That'd be a great day. Okay, my turn. I'm going to go Green Bay Packers 31, which is good for us, putting up some points, against the 49ers at 26, which is a weird number to get to, but they're going to find a way.
Oh, this is definitely a weird number.
It's going to be within a touchdown, but 5 points, like a stupid number. It's going to require them getting a touchdown to win it. And they're going to throw a pick to Xavier McKinney for us to ice the game and win it by 5. It's going to be a close game, guys. They're going to give their best. We're going to give our best. I just hope we don't get killed by penalties. I hope that we play a clean game. If we lose to this team, I want to lose to them playing our best ball, not lose to them beating ourselves up and being like, oh, we shot ourselves in the foot. That's not really us, dude. This is us. It's time. It's time for us to admit this is the team we are. Let's go out there and whoop some ass. Who's with me?
Hell yeah, I'm with you.
His hand is up. You can't see it, but he's.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. The analytics are with you. Vegas is with you. I think everybody's with you.
All right, then on 3, why do you guys say we reclaim the goddamn North starting right now at the West Coast first? What are you going to say? On the count of 3, reclaim the North. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hashtag reclaim the North. Two Dads and a Chaz, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, hit us back. Leave a comment. I'll read it. Bye-bye.
Two dads and a Chaz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz talking Green Bay Packers football. We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air conditioner, cause it's bound to get hot. Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
I got Brian down. It's gonna be 30-ish. Ground's still 48 degrees.
I think
I ain't worried about it.
it's just a good reminder of how soft I keep becoming, because it's like the first like snow or just like cold. It's bad. It's bad on my end.
And so no, we're going bougie. We're going bougie as hell. Every year the place gets it's an Airbnb. Every year the place gets a little nicer. This place has a hot tub and a shuffleboard.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
Good.
I'm gonna throw ice in a cooler. I'm gonna soak in that hot tub. But no, this could be great. This place is extravagant. It's Illinois. We like going into Illinois. You stop and grab all the gummies along the way, and you can gamble. You can gamble on the games all weekend in Illinois.
Right. I like it.
So I'll probably put $5 on FanDuel, see what happens. But
I thought you were roughing it. Each year you're like, I don't know, pedicure.
But that's just the thing. It started out like basically a 1-bedroom shack. And it was like, bring your sleeping bags, boys. Yeah, that's every year. A little more bougie, a little crazier. The place last year we stayed at like a place that was obviously like a yoga retreat when it wasn't being rented out to lushes like us. Like fucking stone statues of fucking fat Buddhas everywhere. It was great. Fucking awesome. Banner flags, and like their intro letter was like, "We hope you find peace and joy and solitude." Meanwhile, I'm sticking a key in the bottom of a Keystone Light and fucking shotgunning that bitch.
Well, I wish you well, Ty. I wish you well.
I'm gonna need it. We do have a little bail fund reserved. We don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. Maybe a Saturday morning run to the grocery store when we realize nobody brought charcoal. But like other than that, like it's just I don't know. It's like sitting around with the guys.
It's great, man. I can tell you always come back a little bit more rejuvenated. I mean,
I hope.
You need to recover, but
yes, exactly.
I can tell you've had fun, and it's that's important, you know.
Yeah, it is. It takes some. I this year, because Thanksgiving and all that, just we come back Monday, so I was gonna take that Tuesday off. But who would go to work just the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Friday after?
Nobody.
So I just took the whole week off. I was like, I'm already taking 2 out of 4 days off. Take the whole week off. And my wife looks at me. She's like, "Oh, 4 days party and 6 days to recover."
She understands you, Ty.
I'm like, you know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Oh,
definitely, if I'm going to be partying for 4 days, I'm definitely going to need 6 days to recover. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's going to be the best.
Go get it, man. In this game, man, I can't stress it enough. San Fran, I fucking hate this franchise with a passion. Like they are that's my rival.
Really?
Yep.
They're your Cowboys?
Not even close. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like the Vikings have dropped off. Nobody in our division. I guess the Lions, it's kind
still
of like
so
weird,
new.
It's so new, exactly. But the fucking 49ers have ruined our party way too many times.
Whether it's Steve Young or Colin Kaepernick, there is a long history. There's a long rivalry there.
Yep.
I wish I could hate them as much as I hate the Cowboys. I just don't. I just can't.
Hey, we all got our.
But as long as everybody's got like a team they just loathe, we know yours is the 49ers.
Oh yeah, and my son, he likes to ask. It's like always an ultimatum. He's like, "Who's your favorite of this, Dad? What's your favorite of that?" He's like, "Who do you hate the most?" And I'm like, "I'm glad you asked, son."
Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football.
We ain't backing down.